Business as War. The 19th century Prussian soldier and military theorist Karl von Clausewitz famously noted that war is a continuation of politics by other means. Looking at the titles in the business section of any major bookstore, one might also conclude that modern business is just a continuation of war by other means. A brief sampling includes The Art of War for Executives, Ancient Knowledge for Today's Business Professional. Business Wargaming, Securing Corporate Value. The War for Talent. Sun Tzu Strategies for Selling, How to Use the Art of War to Build Lifelong Customer Relationships. And finally, Recruit or Die, How Any Business Can Beat the Big Guys in the War for Young Talent. The list goes on. Battling for customers, fighting for territory, defeating the competition, taking aim at a rival's product, and strategizing for victory are all familiar phrases in the business world. The analogy between war and business is so deeply ingrained that most people don't even question it, let alone challenge its profound implications. Wars between states authorize organizations and individuals to commit morally reprehensible acts that, if committed by individuals without state authorization, would lead to severe social ostracism and punishment. In a similar way, the business is war analogy tends to free corporations to commit morally questionable or even shameful acts that may seem necessary for the company's victory, but which inflict significant collateral damage. Examples might be coal-fired power plants using the sky as an open sewer, fast food chains offering free toys that beguile children into a lifetime of unhealthy eating habits, or agribusiness giants marketing pesticides that may cause birth defects at the beginning of life and dementia at the end. In such cases, the short-term profits are privatized while the long-term costs are borne largely by the public. War dehumanizes and often decouples individual and collective actions on behalf of the greater cause for individual or collective moral accountability. As a governing analogy, business is war can have the same effect because most corporate decision-makers are insulated from significant accountability to anyone but their most aggressive board members. Given this, some may feel largely absolved of personal responsibility for the negative economic, environmental, and human tolls that this war analogy and their actions exact. The lipstick economy. In a commercial society, all this talk of war tends to alienate female audiences, many of whom control their household spending, according to Frank Luntz. There's altogether too much allusion to battles and charging and fighting in our lexicon, and it's a context most women simply don't appreciate, he writes. Cola wars, beer wars, and burger wars are entertainment to men and noise to women. This may be one reason the National Football League, which in recent years has been working hard to cultivate a growing female audience, now discourages the use of war analogies to describe its games. According to a 2009 report in the Washington Post, the NFL no longer endorses using military terminology to describe its contests. And at NFL Films, which long glorified the image of football as warfare, writers and crews have been instructed to remove all allusions to war from its new productions. I don't think you will ever see those references coming back, NFL Films president Steve Sabol told the Post. They won't be back in our scripts, certainly not in my lifetime. Shifting analogies seems to be working. According to Advertising Age magazine, 55% of American women report watching regular season football, and the gender gap between men and women watching the Super Bowl has narrowed to 54 to 46. Roughly, 51 million women watched the 2012 Super Bowl, more than the total audience of 39 million that tuned in for that year's Academy Awards.